The master archer and one of his men are scouting ahead. They're one move, which is 5 inches, ahead of the main column. And as they come out of the impenetrable woods, they can see the men of L'Orange on the hill. Hey Wargamers, welcome back. Purple Druid here with another old school games demo. Today we are going over Bill Lamming's medieval campaign and battle rules. Now, this comes in a 3-volume omnibus with rules from Arthur Taylor and rules from John Tunstall, both of which I have already gone over. The campaign rules are already outlined in another video. This one will be discussing the battle rules. And these battle rules are skirmish level. So 1 figure equals 1 man. We're going to be, it doesn't say what the time scale is, nor does it say what the ground scale technically is for these miniatures. So we are using sort of 15, 18 millimeter. Actually, it's kind of close to 1/72nd. But these are pieces from the Risk Europe game set that I have mounted on 25 millimeter plywood squares. And then we've set up a river, some hills, and some forests. According to the campaign rules, the forests have been outlined as dense and impassable. This one I rolled a 1. This one I rolled a 3, so this one is medium. So that means that, I'm sorry, this is impenetrable. This one is dense, which means that infantry can only pass through at 1/2 speed and cavalry cannot. And then the forest over here, which is this one, that is actually light forest. Infantry can move at full speed. Cavalry can move at 1/2 speed. And then I rolled a d6 to see if there was a path, and there is indeed a path. So I dropped that in there. And this scenario, which, if there's time, I'm going to replay with the Killing Fields rules. But basically right now, Baron L'Orange and a unit of archers are scouting out a lightly wooded valley. And they arrived yesterday and set up their camp. So today they are searching and mapping according to Rule 45 on page 141 of the book. The Baron and half of his men, including a knight, are mapping the east side of the river. That's north. All right. Let's see here. The rest are guarding the camp. So we have 10 tents and we have 2 loot markers. Baron Verdi here with one of his knights and a group of light infantry archers. They are searching the same river. They're scouting out the same river. And as they're moving up the river, they're looking for a ford, which Baron L'Orange has already found. Now, they've just entered this map square. The master archer and one of his men are scouting ahead. They're one move, which is 5 inches, ahead of the main column. And as they come out of the impenetrable woods, they can see the men of L'Orange on the hill. So the scouts are going to go back to inform the Baron, and then the entire Verdi column will move forward to engage. So just for basic rules, the ford can be negotiated. However, it is at 1/2 speed and figures have to be in single file. The combat rules themselves are relatively simple. However, they're spread out into several charts. When it comes to shooting, there is a chart for each weapon. We're just going to be using the bow chart. And depending on the range, you'll roll a d6 and determine whether or not you hit the enemy unit, and if you incur a hurt, a wound, or a kill. I'm sorry, a disabled result or a kill. Each man can sustain 2 wounds or 4 hurts, and then they're killed. The attack roll for melee is 2d6 plus modifiers, and it's very much along the lines of the fantasy or man-to-man combat for chainmail, where you roll 2d6, and whatever your total is, that will inflict damage. And then again, you look at another chart, and it will show you the result. Once again, is it hurt, wounded, disabled, or killed? Let's see. Breaking off combat is possible. If combat's not going your way and you want to turn and run, you roll a die and check for the result. There are 3 possible results. 1, you can turn and flee and they can strike at you. 2, you can turn and flee and you get away. Or 3, you turn and flee and they chase you down. After melee, you have a similar chart. If the loser retreats or routs, you roll a die to see if the victor follows at all. And for a retreat, this is pretty standard. Infantry withdraw in good order 1 move. Cavalry will turn around, which takes a half move, and gallop away at a 15-inch movement rate for a half move. So they'll turn and gallop 7.5 inches back. For a rout, infantry will flee 2 moves, disordered with their backs to the enemy, and the unit has 2 turns to rally. Cavalry that are routed will turn around, which is a half move, and then gallop a half move. And then for the second move in that rout, they will canter, which is 10 inches. And again, that unit has 2 turns to rally, at which point they will continue to move away from the enemy. Infantry check morale in the face of a cavalry charge. Again, very similar to chainmail. And a unit that has taken casualties must check morale when ordered to charge the enemy. Now, this is inferred as there's no line on the actual morale chart for 0% casualties. So we are going to play this game. If men are ordered to charge more men and they have not been hurt or wounded, they will not have to take a morale check. Otherwise, they will. So that is our outline. As each thing comes up, I will go ahead and get the rule book out and show you the charts and everything else. We'll be tracking turns. Basically, everybody gets to move 5 inches for their basic movement. A charge is 10 inches for infantry and 15 inches for knights. Now, mounted men are also able to move at a canter, which is 10 inches. And there's another rule that says if a mounted figure charges and fails their charge, so say the enemy is 16 inches away, the move after the charge turn has to be at a canter, so they'll have to move another full 10 inches before they can come to a stop. And so just to be sure to distinguish, I did drop a little paint on the barons so that they should be distinguishable from up here. Looking through the camera, it's kind of hard. I may decide to go ahead and stick a little flag on them, but I don't know if that'll be any better. It looks like you can see that the baron here is a little bit different than this knight, so we'll have to see. So this is the setup for the battle, and for turn 0, as it were, these scouts have spotted the enemy on the hills, and so they will turn around and move back here to inform the baron. And so turn 1 will start with that. Thanks for watching, and for those of you who are paid subscribers, the actual rules demo part will be coming up immediately afterwards. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.